Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live stream from Brisbane today, and of course Australian Radio production and streaming live via Gentex Multimedia Services. And hey, once again, it's Friday and we've got a full-on weekend. There's so much that's happening. We'll have the Rotary 100 celebration tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in the show. And today, joining us in the studio will be Jitendra Prasad. And of course, we have Varnam Cultural Society's Chitrai Kalai Visa, which is the Indian New Year. Well, I mean, Bharatiya Navvars, and it is known in many different names, but it is the New Year celebration at Mobile Domain. That will be a wonderful program as well. And of course, it's Ramadan, so all the iftar dinners are taking place all over the place. And this year, it's wonderful to see that Ramadan and Ram Navami, which is the Hindu celebration, have coincided. So, you know, the 9 nights of Ram Navami is taking place at most of the temples and mandirs, you know, places of worship in and around Brisbane. So that's lots that's happening. But first of all, it's Friday and it's coming on to the weekend. The restrictions are over. Masks have come off. What is the weather looking for us like for this weekend? With that, let's welcome Dilraj.
Good morning everyone. Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 29 degree. Brisbane area is mostly sunny with just 10% chance of any rain. Light winds becoming easterly 15 to 20 km per hour in the late afternoon and then becoming light in the evening. Fire danger is low to moderate. Sun protection is recommended till 40 past 2 and UV index is predicted to reach 7, that is high. Tomorrow, that is Saturday, minimum will be 19 and maximum will be 25. Brisbane area will be cloudy with medium chance of showers, most likely in the afternoon and evening. Sun protection is recommended from 50 past 8 in the morning till 40 past 2 in the afternoon and UV index is predicted to reach 7, that is high. On Sunday, minimum will be 16 and maximum again will be 25. Brisbane area will be partly cloudy with very slight chance of shower in the morning. Sun protection is again recommended from 10 to 9 in the morning till 40 past 2 in the afternoon and UV index is predicted to reach 7, that is high. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you very much for that update, Dilraj. As we know that the weekend is coming with a lot of functions and events that would be taking place. But first of all, let's take a look at some of the news that's been happening. One is the Premier's announcement of the mask coming up. And I think, as she had said before, that she is happy about the thing. Here she is.
Very good that the masks have come off. But that's, you know, it's the tremendous work that Queenslanders have done. I can't be more proud. I mean, honestly, you know, when you have these outbreaks, you know, you don't sleep and you get very concerned, but everyone stepped up, everyone did what they were asked to do.
And that is wonderful that everyone did what they were asked to do, and that's why she is happy with the outcome so far. And we will look at what are the consequences. When I talk about consequences, meaning, so what does it mean that, you know, are the borders going to be open, or the airline travel be happening or not? And don't forget, before I forget, is that tonight we also bring to you a very special program at 4 p.m., which is the migration update. And joining me here in the studio would be Suman Dua. So if you have any questions that can be answered, please do tune in from 4 p.m. For that very informative segment as well on migration. And of course, we know that with the ever-changing rules and regulations, it's always good to keep up to date. So that's coming at 4 p.m. today. And tomorrow, we will be live from the McCuskey Park in Kelvin Grove, celebrating the 100 years of Rotary here. So right now, taking a look at what our Premier has said, now the press conference that Prime Minister had yesterday, let's join that.
Can I say I greatly welcome the further reporting on the employment figures today. The unemployment rate has fallen again to 5.6%, some 70,000 new jobs. We've seen the participation rate climbed to the highest level on record. We've seen the youth unemployment rate, which is a great relief to see that falling down to 11.8% from 12.9%. And we're seeing the underemployment rate and the underutilisation rate also fall. This is all good news for Australians to see jobs continue to come back into the economy. Here in Western Australia, the news is particularly good, with some 28,100 more jobs coming into the Western Australian economy and the unemployment rate now falling to 4.8% from 6%. And so Western Australia can say, with so many other states now, that there are more people employed here than there were before the pandemic, and that is another milestone in Australia's great economic comeback from the COVID-19 pandemic recession. And so those numbers, I think, will be a great encouragement to Australians all around the country. Later today I'll be heading up to that part of Western Australia that is a key part of this state's great success in the Pilbara. And I look forward to that visit over the next 24 hours or so. So those numbers, very, very welcome. I now want to turn to a very important and serious issue. Today the government is announcing that Australia will conclude the drawdown of our contribution to the NATO-led Resolute Support Mission in Afghanistan. Over the past 2 years we've been reducing our military presence in Afghanistan from a high of over 1,500 personnel to around 80 personnel currently. In line with the United States and our other allies and partners, the last remaining Australian troops will depart Afghanistan in September 2021. The decision represents a significant milestone in Australia's military history. Over the last 20 years, Australia has been a steadfast contributor to the fight against terrorism in Afghanistan. Australia has fought alongside coalition and Afghan partners to degrade the capabilities of terrorist organisations, including Al-Qaeda. More than 39,000 Australian Defence Force personnel have deployed on Operations Slipper and High Road, helping to protect the safety and security of the Australian people at home and overseas. But safeguarding Afghanistan's security has come at a great cost to Australia. Since 2001, 41 Australian personnel have lost their lives while serving in Afghanistan, and many more were wounded, some physically, others mentally, and will be dealing with the scars, both mental and physical, of their service for many, many years. I would like to take a moment to read the honour roll of those 41 Australians who sacrificed their lives for the sake of freedom. Sergeant Andrew Russell, Trooper David Pearce, Sergeant Matthew Locke, Private Luke Worsley, Lance Corporal Jason Marks, Signaller Sean McCarthy, Lieutenant Michael Fussell, Private Gregory Sher, Corporal Matthew Hopkins, Sergeant Brett Till, Private Benjamin Renato, Sapper Jacob Morland, Sapper Darren Smith, Private Timothy Applin, Private Scott Palmer, Private Benjamin Chuck, Private Nathan Buse, Trooper Jason Brown, Private Thomas Dale, Private Grant Kirby, Lance Corporal Jared McKinney, Corporal Richard Atkinson, Sapper Jamie Larkham, Sergeant Brett Wood, Lance Corporal Andrew Jones, Lieutenant Marcus Case, Sapper Rowan Robinson, Sergeant Todd Langley, Private Matthew Lambert, Captain Bryce Duffy, Corporal Ashley Burt, Lance Corporal Luke Gavin, Sergeant Blaine Diddams, Sapper James Martin, Lance Corporal Shepard Rick Milosevic, Private Robert Pote, Private Nathaniel Gallagher, Lance Corporal Mervyn MacDonald, Corporal Scott Smith, Corporal Cameron Baird, BC, Lance Corporal Todd Chidgey. The loss is great, the sacrifice immense, the bravery and courage, things we can speak of but not know of personally. These brave Australians are amongst our greatest ever who have served in the name of freedom. This day we dedicate to their memories. We think of their families, their friends, the life they would have lived, but they gave that for others they did not know. We can be so proud of them, of their service.
Of course, we would be so proud of them. A very emotional Prime Minister there, and of course, moments of reflections like that always, brings the emotions out, and the people who gave their lives, as he said, for people that they didn't know, in the service to the country and in the service to other countries, countries not of their own, but they were called on the duty, and that's what they did. Well, right now, moving on, news from our treasurer. As we know that the JobKeeper has ended, rents have started going up, but one thing that's come out of all of this is that the unemployment rate still remains low. So, the Treasurer is pretty optimistic. Let's hear from him.
Treasurer, thanks for joining us. These really are terrific job numbers today. Where do you think the growth in jobs is coming from?
Well, essentially the jobs have come back that have been lost through this crisis. 1.3 million Australians either lost their jobs or saw their hours reduced to zero at the height of the pandemic. In net terms, those jobs have come back, and whichever way you cut it, Laura, these are a very positive set of numbers. Employment is up, workforce participation is up, the number of hours worked is up, and we're now seeing more Australians in a job than ever before. We've seen 2,000 plus jobs created every day over the month of March. Around 80% of the new jobs have gone to women, and around half the jobs have gone to young people. And the improvement in the labour market is more than 4 times better than we saw after the 1990s recession. So it is a very positive set of numbers.
Sure, but you said today there are many sectors, regions and even families that continue to do it tough, and that government's economic support will continue to flow. Does that suggest there may be need for more support measures in next month's budget?
Well, we have transitioned off those emergency support initiatives like JobKeeper, which were always temporary, and we have moved to more targeted support for those sectors that need it most. Like tourism and aviation, we announced a $1.2 billion package with half-price airfares, as well as cheap loans. We've also announced an arts and entertainment package with $125 million in grants for live events which support the roadie as well as the artist themselves. So there are a number of specific programs that we have announced already that are a part of the next phase of the economic recovery plan, because we're still in the middle of a pandemic. We're not out of this crisis yet, but Australia has outperformed all major advanced economies in the world over the course of the last 12 months.
Sure.
And definitely Australia has outperformed other the nations. And if we look at right now, we'll go to India and look at the number of cases and events that have are escalating in India at this point in time. It's a bit rather concerning.
India has witnessed nearly 2 lakh new cases of COVID in the country in the last 24 hours. A very frightening number, and more frightening is the fact that this number is not yet the peak of our cases. The numbers are rising, and it's anybody's guess where this number is going to stop. There are all kinds of activities still happening across the country which are likely to lead to further increase in these numbers in the coming few days.
So those numbers are alarming, as you would have seen also on social media, all the comments, everything that's happening. It is alarming, and we just hope and pray that something would happen soon. Well, right now, of course, we know that everyone's eyes are on that the funeral that's going to happen. So Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla as they arrive at the Windsor Palace. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you are, and of course, today, very soon, we'll be bringing to you that interview with Jitendra Prasad of Rotary 100 celebrations, which is taking place tomorrow from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. at Meskeski Park in Kelvin Grove. But before that, let's take a very quick message from our sponsors.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, today we are going to talk about something very, very important. As we know, Rotary International, and of course with Rotary International, we have with us in the studio via the video link is the past District Governor of District 9630, Jitendra Prasad. And if I went on and talked about all the other titles that he has, will be here for a long time. But today we're going to be talking about something very important, which is the celebration of R100. Once again, welcome to the show, Jitendra.
Thank you very much, Umesh, and thank you for the opportunity to be here with you in the studios of AIR, and thank you for the opportunity to say a few words about Rotary and R100.
Well, first of all, may I commend you on the community work that you do, amazing work that you do out there in the community. Many times, this kind of work, I for one can understand that how much time and dedication that it needs, the passion that it needs to make sure that it is all happens and all goes ahead. The attention to detail that you pay to functions and events, I must congratulate you and commend you on that.
Thank you, Umesh, and it is a very satisfying job, you're helping others and giving a smile and making a difference to someone's life. It brings joy to yourself, and I think I'm blessed. I'm really blessed to have a good team and good people around you and yourself to be able to achieve this. And yes,
and of course it is an amazing thing that the feeling that you get once you have achieved things and you have done things out in the community. So okay, talking about of course in another segment we'll talk a little bit more about many other things. I think we should do a regular segment where we can touch on many of the common things that we share in the common views that we have. One of the things that came out of the meeting which we had today was about small businesses, and I think you can make a contribution in that field as well. But today we are talking about the R100. So what is R100?
R100 is Rotary 100 years in Australia and New Zealand. Rotary, in fact, was founded in 1905 by Paul Harris in Chicago. But it arrived in Australia, and the first Rotary Club was formed in Canberra in 1921. And we are very, very humble and very fortunate and blessed to be celebrating 100 years of contribution of Rotary throughout Australia and New Zealand. And through the platform of Rotary, we have been able to touch so many lives overseas as well. So R100 is across Australia and New Zealand. All the districts, all the clubs are celebrating the immense contribution Rotary has done to the community. And I think what R100 on this Saturday is doing is taking Rotary to the community and telling the community that what Rotary is all about and what we do. It's not about boasting or being arrogant about it, but just sharing and inspiring people to come on board and join us so that we together can help and make a difference to someone's lives. And we certainly do through a smorgasbord of programs and smorgasbord of events and activities that Rotary does.
And quite rightfully said that Rotary does a lot, and of course, people are aware of Rotary, but taking Rotary to the community, I think that is an amazing job. So, talking about what's going to happen tomorrow, could you please just run us through the programs, the highlights, and what people can see if they come to that function?
Absolutely, we've got about 16 different stalls in terms of tents, whereby we will showcasing different aspects, different programs of Rotary, and we have got a multicultural program where we've got the Chinese dance group, the African dance group, and of course our Bollywood. We'll be presenting different shows, and we're talking about Rotary. We'll be interviewing through your presence there. Thank you very much, Umesh, for being there, and we'll be live over the radio interviewing people and just celebrating and inspiring each other, inspiring the community, the good work that it does. As we say, if you want to touch the past, you touch a rock. If you want to touch the present, you touch a flower. But if you want to touch the future, you touch lives. Rotary does give you the ability and the platform and the opportunity to go and touch lives. And International President-elect Shekhar Mehta, who's coming as the president of Rotary International he's from Calcutta in India, he made a comment and he said that there was a guy who was complaining he did not have any shoes. A guy who was complaining he didn't have any shoes until he saw a person who didn't have any legs. So Rotary gives you the opportunity to do both, give the legs and the shoes. And through the smorgasbord of programs that Rotary has got, and it also encompasses and embraces our youth as well through Rotarect, and which is our youth wing. So it is a platform to get together, but the most important thing we do in Rotary is have fun. We get together, have fun, enjoy each other's company, put the ship beside the friend and make it a friendship organization and enjoy serving others.
And that is quite wonderful, and it is very important to have fun, Mike. So, the joy that you get out of the community service, as you mentioned, is one thing, but of course, you should do so not with a lot of tension and heartache and headache. It should be, if it's a good team and a good cohesive team, it is then a lot of fun as well, So, okay, so the function, it is being held at Meskeski Park in Kelvin Grove. So, how can people get there?
Okay, it's at McKeskey Cup in Kelvin Grove. It starts at 9 o'clock. There is a car park about 200 meters away from the park. It costs $5 for the parking. And there is a lot of parking there. Walk straight into the park. And as soon as you get in, there will be food vents, and there is different coffee vents and stalls. And music will be on. DJ will be present. And as I said, it will be a fun day. No one is free. There is no contribution to come in. And it is definitely not a Rotary fundraising event. It's a Rotary celebration event. Trust me, we will not have buckets there floating around collecting funds, because it's about time that we don't do that sometimes. Whilst funds is important, but sometimes we just got to give it back to the community and tell them the good work that we've done. Rotary prides in governance, that's one thing, and every dollar that comes through to Rotary, because of volunteerism, the dollar goes back to the community. So on Saturday, it's all about celebration. I urge each one of you to come and enjoy the few minutes. And I also challenge, and I've taken up the membership portfolio role for our district next year. And I challenge people to at least go to a Rotary meeting and see for yourself what we do, and be in a committee environment or meeting environment and enjoy what Rotary does. And who never knows, you'll be part of the journey as well. And I always say, you have to be blessed to be a Rotarian.
Of course, that blessing is not often showered on many, and as they say, there are chosen ones who get to do those kind of work and save the community in the manner that you are doing. So that is wonderful. And of course, the park is right next to the the QT, where the old, if you know the old on Kelvin Grove Road, Miss India is not there anymore. So the park right opposite that, many people might relate to that from that area. So if you come there from the show begins at 9 a.m. So there's lots to say about in a good fun environment. And Jitendra, just before I let you go, of course we know that we are in a slightly restrictive manner that we are operating under. So what sort of arrangements have been made to make sure that people are safe and that we are complying with the COVID-19 restrictions?
Thank you, Umesh. Thank you for bringing it up. One of our Rotary members, Kim, she's been assigned to undertake and make sure that COVID arrangements and regulations are met. 1.5 meter distancing, sanitizers will be available, and I think we still need masks unless it has changed. I'm unsure about that. And if it has not changed, then we'll definitely require a mask. There will be table sitting arrangements there. The chairs will be available. So and the QR code will be adhered to as well. So we will be adhering strictly to the to COVID regulations. I must also thank our past district governor Chris Wright, under whose chairmanship we are having this this program on Saturday. And so I urge each one of you to please come over and enjoy what Rotary has to offer in terms of what we've done and what we can and possibly do for the next 100 years as well.
Well, of course, it is a good thing to see that all the COVID-19 restrictions are being observed, and that wonderful QR code that Queensland government has put out, and as of 1st of May that becomes mandatory anyway. I mean, it is now for all the hospitality venues, so it's good to see that that's been put in practice. And, being Rotary and being as successful and as organized as you and your team are, it would be naive to not expect that that's going to happen. So it will be run in a professional manner. So people, if you're coming, please be rest assured that all the safety measures and precautions will be taken and that they will be in place. So looking forward to a very, very wonderful event on tomorrow at Maskaski Park, which is in Kelvin Grove, corner of Blamey Street and Kelvin Grove Road, or you could come via the Musk Avenue around that way as well. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Of course, our team will be there, and we will be broadcasting and streaming live from there as well. But of course, being there is a great feeling, a great atmosphere. Once again, Jitan, thank you so much for being on the show and sharing this information. So just in conclusion, is there anything you'd like to say to all our listeners and viewers?
I would like to say that part of the program, and I'm so inspired and excited about this, that you yourself will be sharing your journey from a really humble village of Ba in Fiji and coming to and embracing achieving the status of OEM. Umesh, you are a role model and our inspiration. I look forward to your journey and how you've come across in your endeavors to be here. So you are part of the program, and so are a few other speakers. We've got Belle Yoston coming up, and she is the chair for Lead, and how Rotary has positively impacted her life. So there'll be a lot of sharing, a lot of joy, a lot of fun. I urge each one of you to please make an effort to come and celebrate with us Rotary 100 years in Australia and New Zealand.
And thank you very much for the opportunity. Looking forward to catching up with all of you tomorrow for the R100 celebration in Brisbane.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you are. That's interview with Jitendra Prasad, and as he mentioned, that tomorrow morning from 9 a.m. The celebrations will be taking place, and we will be broadcasting live from there. So, join us on our live stream if you are unable to come. But of course, if you can come, that would be great, because being there is just something else as well. We'll do the best as we can for our live telecast from there, and it is a wonderful celebration. 100 years by any means is not a small feat. It's a milestone to be celebrated, and congratulations to everyone behind the team who have put a lot of effort into getting that happening. And of course, we know that the Colombian festival, the Latin festival, will be taking place at King George Square, and later in the day, Varnam Cultural Society are having their Chitrai Kalai Visa, which is the Bharatiya Navvars, and of course it's known by many different names, Navvars, Novisu, whatever you might like to call it, from whichever region of India you represent. But it is that one celebration in many different forms, because India is all about unity in diversity. So right now it's time to look at some of the functions and events taking place, and let's see which ones we can go to. And ladies and gentlemen, one event that we'd like to talk to you about is Sweet Utsav opening its new store, which will be opening in Browns Plain, 121 Grand Plaza Drive, Browns Plain, and it will be open from 27th of April. So Sweet Utsav comes closer to you and your friends, and it's a franchise which is operating in many parts of the country. It's wonderful to see it coming here to Brisbane as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have for you in this segment, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Hope to see some of you in many of the functions taking place over the weekend, and of course, enjoy the rest of the weekend. And of course, even though it might not be that hot, when you go out, make sure that you've got sun protection on. Talking about protection, make sure that you are protected from this pandemic as well. If possible, do have your mask on if you're going out into the public and where there are lots of people. So, even though it's not mandatory, you don't have to, but it is advisable to. So it is always better to be on the preventive side rather than going for a cure. So until next time, until tomorrow, we will meet at the McCaskey Park. We'll be coming live there, but tonight or today at 4 p.m. This will be a Hindi segment. 4 p.m. we will be joining with Suman Dua, who will be right here in this studio and coming with the migration update. So if you have any questions about migration related questions, we'll take your questions live on air when we are live at 4 p.m. today from these studios. Until then, it's goodbye from me.